Rover. Fancy run. Won't you dine with me? Ms. Margarita asked me to sample her newest pizza.
Did you hear what the Order's acolytes found while clearing the abandoned library? A manuscript of a poem with an accompanying music sheet. The public has already caught wind of its contents. Did you? They say it was their last work, written aboard the Pilgrim's Sail. I reckon...
Shh! Quiet! They're criminals. Best not mention them in public.
Shh. That name is not to be spoken of in Ragusa. Simply put, the Golden Anthem was once a renowned poets' society. Their 3 members were once the Sentinel's cantors, but the Order banished them for insulting the divinity. Allegedly, their pilgrim sail caught fire and none on board survived, and thus their last known work disappeared.
Well, since the manuscript is no longer secret, how does the tune sound?
Give me a second. Let me think. Hear that? It's exactly what they're playing now.
Well, it would appear they were possessed by daemons, just as this very article suggests. Friends, it's been too long. I gather you were also listening in on that.
What did you mean by daemons?
Resentful of the Order's verdict, they committed to paper a curse upon Rinascita and Ragusa. Those favored by the divinity were the most willing to raise the blade of rebellion, for they alone knew how to make divinity bleed and doctrines crumble. Though they died in exile to a great fire, their resentment festered in their music and poetry, transforming into horrors known as daemons. Like the fire that dragged them to hell, these daemons will spread throughout the land and burn all of Ragusa. This article was recently published in the Ragusa Literary Journal. Perhaps someone unwittingly played that tune just now and opened the plushies to possession by the daemons. Then again, it's all conjecture. Those in the Poets' Society... Now, if those vengeful spirits really do exist, well, out of all the patrons here, they went straight for you, Rover. Curious. By the way, it just so happens that I made a copy of the Poets' Society's last work. Here, take it. Consider it a little souvenir from your spirited encounter. Goodbye, friends. A change of venue is in order. I must finish my play.
Like the fire that dragged them to hell, these daemons will spread throughout the land and burn all of Ragusa. Unverifiable, yes, but not entirely dismissible. That's so. Let's start at the very beginning. I have a friend who's an expert in deciphering music. I believe you've met her before. She who resembles Topaz should still be near Whisperwind Haven at this hour. In her world, poetry and music hold equal sway. Shh. Listen carefully.
On the tapestry of times, strum my strings for the endless. of time. To fly is not to flee, but to journey towards the dreams. All the hopes will set us free from doubts and fears deep within. Let the sunrise gild our wings, let the twilight soothe our
Follow
skin.
the song to
In
find
the
her.
sky we're forever wild and free.
Rover! Carlotta! It's been too long.
You really must adore that song. I remember hearing you sing it when I was little. When I was a child, whenever I passed by Ciaccona's house, I'd always hear music drifting from the courtyard. Lively, spirited, and so full of emotion.
I remember it well. Those two guards of yours were like giants from Septimont. Easily 200 pounds of pure muscle.
Back then, Ciaccona's family conducted the Order's choir.
How should I put it? Well, as they say, families are always rising and falling. But a song is a song, whether sung in a grand hall or beneath the open sky. As for family matters, let the past stay where it belongs. Anyway, the two of you came in such a hurry. I suppose you're not here to take in the music. Oh, so you eavesdropped on a man rambling on in C3 sharp, and then, poof, out pops a monster. Let me see. It should sound something like this. About that, Sharp Rover. I know, right? We should suggest to Miss Margarita that she add new signage. Sing with civility. It starts with us.
Can we discuss restaurant etiquette later?
Of course. But I still need to know what kind of music could possibly have the power to conjure up those monsters of yours. The Golden Anthem. That name should never be spoken. They're criminals. To conspire with them is to risk banishment at sea. Or worse.
Don't worry. This won't be the first time we've crossed paths with the Order.
Fine. From what you've told me, the composers of this poem cursed Rinascita. When the poem is played, some type of horror appears. If I understand correctly, that's what attacked you and Carlotta. If you ask me, this story is a right load of codswallop. I don't believe a simple little poem could curse.
Then you...
We need to get to the heart of this poem and music mystery. Let me join you. I can't resist a good adventure. I'll help you find the link between the music and those daemons. But in return, I want you to hand these pages to me for safekeeping. Then we have a deal. Since you believe this music summons them, how about we test it for ourselves?
It's risky, but there's no surer way to find out. Wouldn't you agree, Rose?
The final work of poets banished to distant seas. What, I wonder, did the verses forged in flames truly sing?
They are just like the ones that attacked us in the restaurant.
Solo time! Mind the tempo. A perfect chord. Overture.
My compliments. Victory favors me. Still recognize me? Let's have fun! Vitality? Sour! Struggle harder! Entertain me! That's up my compliment. Fun! Still recognize me? Strike is one.
A perfect chord. Listen! The trio of destiny.
They burn in despair, resentful of the Order's verdict, till their last breath. Their last work is nothing but a curse upon us all. With our bodies to fuel the fire, the ensuing furnace shall forge Raguna's true gold. Is it saying Raguna will burn to the ground?
They wanted their resentment to echo through the streets. Just by reading this, I can almost see their terrifying faces in the fire.
These voices. They're people of Raguna, aren't they? I think I heard Mr. C3 Sharp in the mix.
If the poet's resentful souls gave birth to daemons, then shouldn't they sound like the poets themselves? Those voices were just people who read or heard their work.
Perhaps the voices themselves are what causes the daemons to manifest. In the legends, daemons are born of death and curses. But what we've seen isn't like that, no. They're more like horrors created from people's words and imagination. Of course, I'm just speculating. The voices were somewhat muddled. Perhaps I can refine the melody. This time, we need to listen harder. Let's find out what the true story really is. This is a realm created from melodies. Music can transcend space and time to bring memories and stories to life. No. Normally, you can't perceive the frequencies in a melody. But that manuscript lets you see the world as I do. That part with the daemons should be right here.
They burn in despair, resentful of the Order's verdict, till their last breath. Their last work is nothing but a curse upon us all.
It's the same as... Perhaps it was a simple poem at first, nothing more. But then that article claimed it was a curse upon Raguna. No one knew exactly what happened, so they filled in the gaps with their imaginations. With motive and a complete story. Perhaps that's all it took for a lie to become the truth. Yes, someone must have used them to create the daemons. What if the mastermind pulling the strings from the shadows is the author of that? Imagination knows no bounds. If left unchecked, such incidents will only increase. For resonators, dealing with them isn't much of a... Let's pick up where we left off. If the daemons are born from the public's imagination, then things will shift once we catch whoever is responsible for starting this in the first place. This mastermind has gone to great lengths to twist the facts, stirring fear and turning it into resentment. Music and poetry are born from kindness and hope. Yet now they've been twisted to create these monstrosities. Whoever is behind this won't just sit back and watch. The thought of confronting them is already inspiring me to write a ballad.
Our enemy hides in the dark, while we remain in the light. If that's the case, we need to split up. With your tenacity and Ciaccona's someone has pointed a gun at Cat's Eye. So the family has its ways. Tracing the article's source and finding this mastermind won't be a problem.
If we find melodies connected to the Poets' Society, I can bring the past into clearer focus. I've got it, Rover! I know a place where they've definitely left their mark. Let's go. Onward to new melodies! I really admire the wind. It's free to go anywhere without restraint. If only it could carry my poems into the hands of everyone across the world. Ta-da! Welcome to Requiem Paradise. This is where Raguna's musicians lay their old instruments to rest. For the people of Raguna, the sea is everything. We live and sleep by the sea, and our souls drift out to sea when we pass. Since an instrument is an extension of the musician, it's only fitting that it's buried by the sea. May its dreams be long and sweet before returning to the waves. I'm certain this is where the poets of the Golden Anthem laid their instruments to rest before their banishment. What's wrong? You seem troubled. Is that what's been on your mind this whole time? I say, if the answers aren't coming, let it all go and clear your mind. To be honest, I haven't found any leads either. But worry not. This is what we bards call a bottleneck. Once, I spent 3 days just trying to find the right words to describe a tree. Couldn't do it. Not one word. So, I stood under that tree and prayed for an apple to fall on my head. You know, just like in those stories where inspiration strikes after an apple hits you. And, well, at least you get a snack out of it. The apples never fell. I stood under that tree until I couldn't any longer, but still no inspiration came. Try it.
It's a real apple.
Later, when I finally decided to leave, I looked up through the gaps in the branches and suddenly saw a blooming flower atop a cliff. Turns out, even without an apple, inspiration may yet strike. But if I hadn't stood... So, maybe this is enough.
I'm starting to understand why Carlotta calls you Topaz.
Is that so? But I'm nowhere near as dazzling as the sun, soaring freely in the sky, even if it means falling in the end. I sense the melody of an instrument close by. A harp. It's in excellent condition, but its tone is flattened. A flute, but it sounds sharp and harsh. I'd say it's trying to finish as quickly as possible. Is that a lute? Its echoes are faint. Perhaps because it's been abandoned longer than the previous two. Wait. The sound may be weak, but there's an undeniable strength to it. Rover, behind you! It seems this lute likely belonged to a member of the Poet Society. Which is to say, it holds the melodies they left behind. Perfect wrap-up. A perfect chord. Listen, the trio of destiny. The timbre also matches. I believe this lute is exactly what we've been looking for. Sometimes, even when the instruments are the same. For example, this lute doesn't seek to boast. It speaks softly, like a traveler sharing us the true purpose of music is to express what words cannot. Rover, if there's something you want to say but can't put into words,
But I haven't even heard you sing yet.
Me? Perhaps another time. Once all this... Now, it's in the lute's hands. I hope this melody holds a tale worth telling. Listen. I hear something that seems like an interrogation room. Take care with each step. The melodies left by these instruments are we may find ourselves straddling vast rifts in time and space. A single misstep could draw us into other melodies, leaving us lost within them.
Farrell of the Golden and the Codex teaches us that those whose sins are... It is a grave offense to slander the Sentinel. This includes your claim that I was told you found this lie carved on a lithograph. If you admit you were mistaken at tomorrow's trial and reveal where you have hidden the evidence, I will move mountains to protect you and your companion. Remember, Imperator only responds to repentance, not silence.
I'm sorry, Sir Acolyte. I'm doing my best to cooperate. Please don't mistake my silence for defiance. It's just, this room is freezing. I'm afraid that by the time I see the Sentinel, I will have lost my voice entirely.
As long as you repent and help us destroy those blasphemous poems and songs, you are a wise man. I trust you will make the right choice. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night, Mr. Farrell. I will always be here should you wish to receive the Sentinel's mercy.
No need to worry, Sir Acolyte. In fact, I'm beginning to enjoy the co-op.
Neither official nor private records show them as having ever repented.
Farrell's gone mad. He ought to have hidden the truth in our secret study. Why would he slip this dangerous knowledge into his poems and hand them out to children? We ought to have buried the truth.
Buried the truth. It just occurred to me. Is that our mastermind's true aim? Not only to bury the past, but also to silence those who know the truth. To that end, he stirs panic to deepen Ragonese prejudice against the Poet Society, using this opportunity to create monsters born from our words. Words and music are weapons without...
I understand what Farrell was trying to do. We're not adventurers or mighty resonators. We don't even have the time or ability to determine whether that lithograph is real or fake. Farrell only wanted to share the voice of uncertainty. Our fate has been sealed.
They don't sound like they're full of hatred at all. If anything, they appear to have anticipated what would... During the interrogation, they kept their composure and did not offer fierce resistance.
Everything seems to revolve around the Order. Could they?
We don't know that for certain. But at least we now know the Poet Society would never place a curse on Raguna.
I knew this was to be our fate. From the moment we uncovered that lithograph, I knew it would come to this. Still, I have no regrets. But if the Sentinel's true form is a flying steed, what does that make the Imperator we've pledged our faith to? All this time, we've been living nothing but a lie.
The Order's stance is that the Poet Society concealed blasphemous works. Yet the Order themselves concealed the lithograph's existence. That's right! You must have seen the Sentinel in the inverted tower. To keep the Sentinel's true form a secret, the Order ruined the Golden Anthem's The melody is fading faster now and becoming unstable. We should leave.
Where is this place? A study? We must have gotten separated.
You are to build a home here, like seabirds. Dwell upon the water, just as countless stars dot... I don't know if what I'm feeling is right or wrong. They were clearly the Sentinel's cantors. Why would anyone call them criminals who insulted divinity? This is a poem I've never seen before. It's so different from what they used to write. Do not place flowers on my tomb, for I do not rest beneath the stone. I am the sea wind at Raguna's walls. I am a dawn that breaks through thorns. I am a nighthawk of wings of flame, soaring towards the celestial steed. Who's a flame, celestial steed. True form I behold. The night sky will be illuminated by wings of flame, and I shall be reborn in immortal poetry.
Because they cannot banish the truth, the Order of the Deep instead banished us to the sea. Our thirst for truth is why we were cast out. No matter what, remember this. The truth will always exist.
I can't get through, but the sounds are coming from over there. What is this place?
She's always been distant and aloof. But her true melody is both heavy and fragile. Ciaccona Toccata. As long as you still draw breath, lift your eyes and look. With this poem, your life is eternal.
Rover? Rover! Finally, I got you out of there. You must have been drawn into a different melody on our way out.
I just walked into a study and ran into a strange little girl. She seemed quite taken with the Poet Society's work. She mentioned a name. Ciaccona Toccata.
I see. I don't know who you met, but Toccata is my family name. As I said before, for family matters, let the past stay where it belongs. Just call me Ciaccona. We don't need to overcomplicate things. Well, we have made some progress. Yes, seeing as they banished the Golden Anthem, we might find more clues in the Cathedral of Mercury.
Have you found her yet? No. She's not here either. Greetings, sisters.
No. Razor doesn't...
This is a cathedral. That's the choir on stage, with the Poet Society leading them. Looks like it's a ceremony of some kind. It sounds like...
On the surface, yes. The Order certainly upheld Raguna's prosperity and stability. The poets, praised for their songs to honor the Sentinel, earned the... Simply knowing the Order once stood with the poets doesn't reveal the true reason behind their banishment.
Sounds like a song celebrating the knights who defeated the Tacit
Degenerate! Arrogant! This is madness! Who is this madman?
What he said about the common folk. Is it true? Tell me.
What a mess. I suppose this incident is what's strange. Why is the
Afternoon tea! Yes, please. Your tea and biscuits, miss. I'll reapply the there, I understand. You've always been a curious child. You saw something terribly interesting. Look at this. This book says the flower doesn't live long. But that's silly. I know it can survive the coldest of winters. Maybe one day, I'll become a great bard. Miss, this study is a secret. You must never tell a soul. I understand. But I've always wondered, why do people say they're guilty? There are so many interesting poems and songs here. Why won't Father let me see them? Oh, you'll understand.
Oh, what splendid...
Racer did wonderfully. Thanks to you, I figured it out. Sincerity is what truly matters when we pray and sing praises.
Yes. A hymn isn't just a few lines. The hymn may differ in each person's eyes, but it's... I hope you'll give the audience a spectacular performance on the day of this... So, what did you see in Razor's melody?
The Poets Society was criticized for glorifying the knights over the common folk during one of their hymn performances. Their assumptions were challenged, so they traveled to the knights' encampment at Whisperwind Haven to verify the truth for themselves.
This incident may have been the turning point for the Poets Society. Did you find any other clues? Next time we venture into the realm of melodies, perhaps we should tie our hands together to stop you from getting lost. If the Order's choir is pointing us to Whisperwind Haven, then that's where we'll find more clues.